Welcome to the Park and Rec Commission meeting for Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. My name is Jim O'Connor, and I am the commission chair. We will begin with introducing ourselves.
Yep.
Maddie?
Matt Shaw.
Dan Sapatka.
Debbie Davis.
Allison Korea.
Steve Besputa.
Deb Satonic.
Dan Lynch.
Good evening, everyone. We'll start with public dialogue. Any public dialogue? No public dialogue. We will go to old business. Questions from previous meeting we will handle at the end. Dan will do in his meeting. We have our lacrosse presidents in attendance, so we will go right to them. We'll start with minutes. Approval of minutes of May. Forgot about May. I wasn't in charge. Steve was. Vice Chair Besputa handled those because I was at a lacrosse game. So moved. Any changes, deletions, suggestions?
Allison will second it.
Thank you, Al. I'm moving too quick.
Looks all right.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah,
for
Steve,
helping out
thank
last
you
night.
for at the last moment handling it. Thank you.
I didn't know about it, so like,
10 minutes beforehand.
You got my email.
Yeah, it was
that email.
it was last minute. I do apologize.
What? No.
Okay, everyone in approval, say by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Okay, so now we have Bill McNeil here. Bill, can you come up and give us a status report on girls lacrosse for this past season?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
So Bill McNeil,
Hi, Bill.
girls lacrosse. We've just completed our spring season. In our minds, it was our biggest season because we were able to do teams at every grade level. So Mary's going to be happy. So we've always had to do with U.S. Lacrosse does bantams. They call them bantams. They're kindergarten through second grade. Then they have a lightning group, which is called third grade through fourth grade. Then they have a junior group, which is fifth grade through sixth grade, and a senior group, which is seventh through eighth. So everybody refers them to something different, but that's what U.S. Lacrosse calls them. So this year, similar to other towns, we've been able to do a team at every level. So it's more grade appropriate rather than an 8B or more advanced versus beginner. So that seems to be what other towns are doing. When we schedule, we play other towns. It's hard to schedule if you have a group that from Cheshire is just all fifth graders and we got fifth and sixth graders. So it's getting to be, the sport's growing, the girls' side's growing so that you can have age appropriate or grade appropriate teams at every town.
That's
Which
awesome.
is great.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Which is easier for scheduling, it makes it more age appropriate, and the difference is some towns are more advanced and some towns are just starting out, so you gotta kind of feel it out. Is it gonna be a competitive game, is it not gonna be a competitive game, and try to talk to the schedules before you schedule it. We do a preseason parents and players meeting for each team, so I'll meet with each team in the beginning, and they have to come get their uniform and meet their coach. And we will talk to them about the code of conduct that they all sign when they register for U.S. Lacrosse. Basically, telling them that we have the authority to, if you misbehave as a parent or as a player, we can ask you not to attend your child's game. And I think that's probably had the most weight, making our seasons more successful than other towns, because we do talk about that. And it's not fun to talk about it, but it has to be talked about. And I used to be disciplinary committee for youth hockey, and you learn real fast that it's real important in youth hockey because parents are paying a lot of money for youth hockey, and they take it very seriously. So our biggest problem that we had was a second grade team game that was playing their first game of the year, and the parents were just at another level. So it goes at all levels. We say it to the kindergartners and we say it to the eighth graders. If you misbehave, you're probably not going to be able to play. We have the authority to not let you play, and if you're a parent, you might not be able to watch it. So that makes our season really, really, really good. I think that gives us something to look back on. We told you, unfortunately. So that's happened. And the biggest problem that we're having at our level is referees, and most of the kids are, eighth grade can referee a third and fourth grade game, and we have a mentorship program where we'll teach our high school lacrosse players during the winter in a classroom. They come, U.S. Lacrosse will pay, and they'll come and they'll go through 3 hours of classroom to get certified to referee. And it's a nice way for them to give back to the sport, to earn some nice money when they referee a game. But when they get yelled at, they don't want to do it. And same thing with adults. When they get yelled at, they don't want to do it. So that's the biggest fear that we have is if we can't get referees, we can't play the game. So it's real important to kind of educate everybody.
Unfortunately, that's happening in all sports.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
And it hurts because our girls really want to give back to the sport
Sure.
and earn some nice money at the same time. And they're great mentors, but when they get yelled at, they're not like, this is not worth it. So hopefully we all get together and understand that as parents and programs and whatnot. U.S. Lacrosse has done a great job as far as putting bulletins out, and when you sign up, you get a membership, you get a flyer, but it still happens. We'll typically have a team parent or 2 team parents, and we'll have a coach. And our coaches are mostly paid. We don't have a lot of parents that are feeling comfortable enough to come out and be a head coach, but they're the high school coaches, they're the teachers, they're educators, they're very busy. So our team parent will be there when the practice ends. We'll start on time and we'll end on time. The team parent will be there to make sure that the last child's parents is there to pick them up, and we try to let the coaches go, so to speak. And the team parent will kind of be like the manager of the team. So that's kind of our philosophy of how we manage our teams. We had our jamborees this year. They went really, really well. A little more coordination with soccer next year. Hopefully we'll get that because parking is really, really tight over there. We lined the parking lot, which really helps. But Dan, you know we've gotten some vandalism over there. Kids go over there and they just do burnouts and ruin the lines. We had some damage to the porta potties.
Porta potties, about 4 of them I've
That
replaced.
that is an issue.
Yes.
Part of our meeting when we have the parents there, and part of our emails that go out to towns that are coming in, is we tell them that we are in a neighborhood and that someone lives on those streets, and there's a lot of kids in the parking lot. So please be very careful, and we'll email that out to the teams that are coming for our jamboree. Be cautious. There's speed bumps. You know, kind of help the neighbors that live there already.
Sure.
And I don't know how they're getting in there at night, but they're getting, I thought of maybe putting like a couple hunting cameras in there just to say, and put, surveillance camera, just a sign, just to say that they're being watched. But police don't seem to want to go down there at night, and that seems to be when it's happening. I don't know. Gating, it's going to be, someone's going to have to be responsible to gate it. I don't know if that's the answer to it, but hopefully it's a one-time or two-time thing. And they haven't gone on the field, luckily, so.
Yeah.
We'll do a fall season. It'll start first week of September. With school starting early, we might start early. But everything's going really well. I think the fields are in really good shape. We still have to deal. We talked about what we're going to do with the gold mouse because that seems to be where we get our circle.
Yep.
We have the space to move the nets, but we felt this year we wouldn't do that because it would just make another hole. And we didn't think that would be worth it. So luckily we had a dry 8 weeks that we played in, and we didn't have a big puddle in the goal maybe a couple times, but, so,
That's good.
yeah, still going.
Yeah, they did it in high school too, they did pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah, the mentorship program is amazing. The high school teams won the SEC 2 in a row.
2 in a row. Yeah.
Should have probably beat Cheshire and went to the state finals, but it's nice to see, and the kids are coming back. Most of our coaches have played for Amity, so
Good.
pretty good.
Bill, what's the percentage of kids from Orange? Or 30%, 40%, or,
It's probably higher, maybe 40.
okay.
We just don't have a lot of Bethany. It's a
Okay.
long ride from
Yeah,
Bethany.
I was just wondering.
You know, I would try to get it into the Bethany kindergarten, or, just to get the younger kids starting it. It's a long ride.
The airport, they used to-
Yeah, I know, I used to use the airport, but, it's a big commitment to take your child at a younger age all the way to Orange a
No,
couple
I
times
was
a week.
just wondering.
The boys have always been over 50, 60% orange.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Woodbridge's pretty well represented, but Bethany, it's a long drive.
Yeah.
We try.
Well,
So
that's all
we
you can do.
I'll probably say it during Owen's talk. So tomorrow night is the last Fred Wolf workshop, 6:30 at High Plains. Bill alluded to a lot of, this is the last workshop. BNL will then come back in September with their final plan. A lot of the things that Bill just mentioned, are topics that will be addressed by BNL.
I've spent a
Roads,
lot of time with them too.
yeah,
on the phone.
roads, safety, egress, the general concepts. This is really the last chance for your input. Is tomorrow night for community input. We've spent probably 8 months of getting community input from many different avenues, and everybody's had a pretty good say. Actually, at the last workshop about a month ago, we got some complaints that this was taking too long, but that was part of why we took so long of the community, was to get a wide range of survey, community workshops, groups, and input. So this is it, and then in September, they'll come back with the master plan. And then the master plan will then go to the Board of Selectmen, and then we'll start raising funds, and it's a substantial plan that they will have. So tomorrow is the last chance for changes, suggestions, thoughts, which would be very valuable. So I suggest anybody who's interested in Fred Wolf in suggesting tomorrow night's the last opportunity. So that,
Okay,
sorry
good.
to take you
I'll
off.
grab
So
a
that's
flyer and email
yeah,
it out to our
yeah,
group, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you, Bill. Yeah. Obviously, the proof is in the pudding. The high school team has been successful, consistently for the last, 8 to 10 years. So, and that's from a good youth program. So thank you and keep it up. But Fred Wolf, the plan is to look very different in the next 5 to 10 years. So, all the things that I think that you're worried about with the jamborees and those will be taken care of in that plan. So that's good. But it's a nice park, and it should be able to support many activities down there: jamborees, lacrosse, soccer, and other activities.
Yeah,
So
we're lucky to
it's
have
good.
it.
Any other questions for Bill? We applaud all of your work. We appreciate your work, and keep up the good work.
All right, thank you for your
Thank you,
support.
Bill.
Thank you, Bill. So now the other side, the boys lacrosse, Owen Weaver.
Thanks, Jimmy. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Owen Weaver. I'm the president of the Boys Amity Youth Lacrosse. Was the first and second grade head coach. My oldest is going into third grade. So I'll give you a recap of what we've done for the last year. I'll start with last fall. We did a Bring a Buddy event for the first time, which was a free clinic for the 3 communities. That was held at Pease and Woodbridge. Great turnout. We got a couple kids come out to that. So we're going to do that again. Last November, we hosted a jamboree at High Plains, and that was wildly successful, and we're going to do it again. I've already got Dan's approval. We played behind the barn museums, or whatever you want to call those structures. We're going to invite more towns next year, and we're going to put fields in front of the barns and behind, and that'll be in November. It's a K through 4th grade jamboree, so balls aren't flying out into the parking lot. But it was a good time, and we're going to try and get food trucks and whatnot this year. We historically do a winter clinic, but we did not do a winter clinic last year because we were going to a facility in Seymour, which just wasn't meeting our needs, cost too much. And by the time that we decided not to sign a contract with them, other facilities were already booked. But our plan is to offer a winter clinic this coming winter. In terms of our spring season, this was my first year as president. I've been on the board for 2 years, but I think it was wildly successful. We fielded a team at every grade level, kindergarten through 8th grade. We had 11 kindergartners come out. That was an in-house program. They did not play games. They practiced at the orphan field at Fred Wolf, and I got very positive feedback from the kindergarten parents. We had a 1st and 2nd grade combined team, 17 kids. I think it went well. I mean, I coached it, so hopefully it went well. But at the other grades, we offered one team per grade. We did do, for the second time, an A-B format at the 7th, 8th grade level. Because as Bill talked about the girls program, that's what the neighboring towns do. It's, whether you like it or not, it's an A-B format, tryouts, pick your team. You kind of have to follow that in order to adequately schedule your opponents. It went all right. There's some things that we can improve upon, and we will, but that's how we fielded the 7th and 8th grade. At the end of the season, I sent around a parent survey and a coaches survey. I'm happy to announce that we had an 84% satisfaction return. About 50% of our families answered the survey, so I would have liked the number up above 90, but 84 I think is a pretty good start. In terms of enrollment, we had 129 boys play this spring. That's down from last year of 138. It's primarily due to we graduated a very large 8th grade class. We did see some declines in other grades, but as I mentioned, kindergarten doubled in size. My team almost doubled in size, and we saw the 5th grade team went from 19 kids to 24 kids. So we're very lower end heavy. So it's a positive outlook for the program. We did an end of the year party as we typically do, and we had over 300 people attend at High Plains. So I had to get a third pizza truck that killed my budget, but everybody had a good time. So like I said, we're going to be offering a fall clinic again that's going to run 10 weeks at Pease. And then in terms of, the parent feedback, it was very positive. We did get constructive criticism. Number one of which was, you got to get us onto turf, as if I'm not trying, but that was probably the number one parent feedback. There was also some feedback grade dependent on, how many teams were fielding at a particular grade. But overall, I think it was a successful season, and I'm happy to answer any questions that the board may have or the commission may have.
I don't have any questions. I personally, I don't understand why we can't access the high school turf, but that's,
Right, I mean, so we had one day, we had an Amity Day, and I'll be candid with this board. I'm putting in for Saturday evenings next year, and if they reject it, then we'll go to the board, the Amity board, and talk about that. But it's a major detriment. You go to any other town and you get turf field at their high school or middle school facilities. So I'm not sure the rationale. Well, I know the rationale. I'm not sure that it's a
Branford youth uses Branford High School all day Sunday, every weekend.
right. My son just did a lacrosse camp in Milford. Those facilities are unbelievable.
By Platt?
No, down by Foreign.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they Milford plays their season games at the turf field at Platt at the YMCA.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Brian says hello. All right. Thank you for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Owen. Perfect.
Appreciate it.
So that's wonderful. A vibrant lacrosse program is always good for our towns.
Yep.
Grounds and facilities, Steve.
I'm sure the grounds people are busy lining fields and cutting grass.
Busy,
And-
busy, busy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, we need some water,
Yeah.
yeah.
but maybe we'll get it. Dan,
Yes,
the camps, camp keeps the guys busy too.
yes. Garbage,
Yeah.
yes, a lot. A lot of activity at High Plains. High
Yeah.
Plains is busy.
And there's a lot of events, picnics, field days and,
It's nonstop.
yeah.
They're at High Plains more at this time of the year. And obviously, they're at Fred Wolf and Old Tavern, but they're at High Plains a lot as
Yeah.
well.
Gotcha. Thank you, Steve. Personnel, Dan will cover anything in personnel.
Yep, I have something to cover on that. Yep.
Good. budget. Why don't we just take a quick look, a cursory look at the budget? This is as of, this would be the end of the year?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the end of the year for Dan and how everything really played out.
There are a few things there that are either close to or in the negative, but they've been taken care of.
That you
So, yeah,
talked
yeah.
with.
Mhm. One of them's a temporary salary, but that's already been taken care of. so.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
Mhm.
Any questions about budget? No, I think what Dan and his office always do a good job of, if they do have runovers, they have other line items that they can move items in, move money into to usually come out pretty even through the year. If not, they project down the road and even it out. Excuse me. Okay, we are now to director's report. Dan,
Okay.
you're up.
Got a few things to go over. I will go over them. I'll answer any questions at the end for everyone. Other than camps, our other summer programs have begun as well. Our day camp registration numbers are great. Every session is full. We are into our second week already of session 1. This coming Monday already starts session 2, so we're flying already. We've gotten by the last few days with the heat. It's just obviously because of the great facility we have. It's fully air conditioned inside. We don't keep the kids out too long outdoors. We had a water moon bounce today outside as well. And we obviously have the pool, plenty of water throughout the whole building, so everybody was hydrated and kept cool as best as possible. Tomorrow we get a sudden drop in temperature, so we will be able to finish out the week hopefully okay. So we got through these 3 days. It's not going to get much hotter than that throughout the summer.
Correct.
Hope not. The Traveling Teens program, in past years, this is probably the best years we've had with numbers. We are full every week, but week 4, or even full the week of the 4th of July, which never happens. I think there's still 3 openings in week 4, which is the week after the 4th of July holiday. So those of you that are at home, if you're interested, there are 3 still spots left there for week 4. So by all means, sign up if you'd like. And Steve already talked about our parks crew. Again, we monitored them over the last few days. It's been brutal out there. All good. No issues there at all. There's just, a lot of cleanup work around High Plains and the Fred Wolf Park and Old Tavern. Obviously, ball field maintenance tasks. We got all-star activity down at Old Tavern. And then all the pavilion rentals we have at the community center on the weekends that are normal for the summertime activity. There is an aquatics report and a programs report attached. I have some good news on the personnel side. As you know, and I've told everybody, Sue is retiring from being our aquatic supervisor. Her last official day is August 8th. And we have hired a new aquatic supervisor. Her name is Megan Lasto. A lot of you guys probably know her, the name around town. She's been hired as our new aquatic supervisor. And we are happy. We went through the interview process. She was far and above the best candidate, and we're excited about it. And she is as well. And she will officially start at the end of this month, June 30th, she can start. She'll just be doing training hours, because Sue's still here. She's gonna be with her for a good about over a month or so. And then she'll officially begin her duties on August 1st. So she's gonna get her feet wet with Sue, which is a great thing. Sue did stay until August 8th, which is great. She said she'd stay longer if she has to, after August 8th, if needed. So I just wanna let everybody know that this has, been done, and Megan, signed off on it and accepted the offer, so we're excited about that. So I wanted to pass that on to everybody. All right? And she's gonna do 30 hours per week during her training, and then she'll go into official full-time duty August 1st. Anybody has any questions? I'll be happy to answer them. But everything's in that aquatics report and the programs report.
So I'd like to do something, maybe, I know the July meeting's usually tough with vacations, but maybe Sue's not going anywhere. Maybe in the September meeting, we do something special for Sue.
Sure.
And that offline, if we can talk some more
Yeah.
details about that as a commission,
Yep,
just to honor Sue.
will do. Yep, I'll reach out to everybody.
Any other questions of Dan? No. It's just Dan, I called Dan about something else the other day, and the office is buzzing. Camp is really flying, so
Yeah.
you could hear how busy it is. So Dan's got his hands full down there, so it's good. That's awesome. Okay, I obviously it's just again tomorrow night's a big night because it's the last day we've had. I'm coaching. I was coaching lacrosse, so I couldn't go to the last one, and we had over 35 people at the last community workshop, and there's a wide range of opinions and thoughts. So tomorrow is actually a workshop where they're going to go back to the whiteboards and narrow down the priorities again, like they did in the first workshop. So it's going to really, again, so those things like the artificial turf, the pickleball, those kind of things will be everybody will have a say. So tomorrow night's important, and they try to get through it in an hour. So it's 6:30 to 7:30 about at High Plains. So if you have a moment, I know if you've attended, which we appreciate, it's really been helpful. But it will be in September. We'll go to the Board of Selectmen. After the Board of Selectmen, then Jack and I will come and give a full presentation to you guys with the report, and then we'll give you a status, and then the real work really begins because that's where then PJ and John and BNL. The next phase of we start talking to our lobbyists and our state reps and town, and then it's an election year, so then we start looking at money and things, and the real deal stuff is funding and dollars. So that's the real fun part. But that's why PJ and John are on this, because as the one thing I have to always continue to remind PJ and John, the reason the last study really stalled under Joe wasn't because of this Park and Rec Commission or Joe Lembo. It was because we did not have any impetus for any dollars to infuse in that. We would have loved to have it done, but the first thing we tried to do was that entrance, and once we did that entrance, we didn't have enough dollars, and then everything else failed from there, and that's where Bill, went on his own and found enough funding and found the field space and started building the lacrosse on his own. But it really, because we didn't have a really strong funding base, that's really why it was piecemealed. So, to have two selectmen on this hopefully will help support this.
And BNL will help with the
Yeah.
finding the funding. Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
another reason. BNL is also there's a lot of funding out there for things that people don't think of. There's not a lot of funding for fields, but for hiking trails, for non-invasive, walking and other avenues that the DOT and other areas are looking to support. So there are things that they're aware of that they've gone out in other projects to guide us. So that was part of what we paid, and we're going to continue to pay for their guidance. And so the BNL has been a good partner, and they've been really helpful. So yeah, exactly what Steve says. That's one of the good things, and I think it's been money well spent by the town, and we're gonna have a good product. I see it coming. I can see it now coming And I think the entrances and exits are gonna be, I mean, Jimmy's done a phenomenal job to improve it already, but it's gonna even be better after this. Any comments, thoughts? We're all good? Motion to adjourn? Steve, second. Allison, all in favor, aye? Aye, we're adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.